Welcome, esteemed subscribers. You've unlocked a treasure trove of exclusive bonus episodes where the secrets of castles and the whispers of history come to life like never before. Together, we'll embark on a quest to uncover the hidden stories and the untold legends of medieval history. So, prepare to immerse yourself in stories that will transport you across centuries. These bonus episodes are a reward for your dedication to the preservation of these living relics. Together, we'll preserve their history one tale at a time. Our exclusive journey begins now. Welcome, esteemed listeners, to a journey through the annals of history as we embark on an exploration of Charlemagne, the ripple effects of a king. In this special bonus episode, we delve deeper into the lesser-known aspects of Charlemagne's reign, unraveling the intricate web of influence and impact that this monumental figure cast across medieval Europe and beyond. Charlemagne, a name that resonates through the corridors of time, was more than just a king or an emperor. He was a force that reshaped the very fabric of European history. Born in 742, in an age shadowed by the remnants of a crumbling Roman Empire and the turbulent tides of emerging new powers, Charlemagne rose to become a ruler whose legacy would transcend centuries. His life was not just a series of battles and conquests, but a complex narrative of political sagacity, cultural patronage, religious reform, and far-reaching influence. As we venture into the world of Charlemagne, we find ourselves in an era where the old world was giving way to the new. The Roman Empire, which had once dominated the Western world, was now a fragmented memory. Its glory faded into the annals of history. In its place, a patchwork of barbarian kingdoms had emerged, each vying for power and dominance. It was in this chaotic landscape that the Frankish kingdom, under the rule of the Merovingian dynasty, struggled to maintain its relevance and power. As we delve into Charlemagne, the ripple effects of a king, we uncover the layers of a man whose life was a confluence of warrior prowess, political strategy, cultural patronage, and religious conviction. His legacy, a complex tapestry of achievements and influences, continues to be felt in the modern world. In the grand narrative of Charlemagne's reign, the spotlight often falls squarely on the king himself, his conquests, his empire, his legend. Yet behind the scenes, in the shadowed halls of power, stood figures of immense influence and intellect, the architects of Charlemagne's court. These men, advisors, scholars and administrators, were the sinews and the brains of the Carolingian Empire, shaping policies, guiding decisions, and leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of European history. At the heart of this intellectual and administrative powerhouse was Einhard, Charlemagne's biographer and close confidant. A man of humble origins, Einhard rose to prominence through his intellect and capability. His seminal work, Vita Carolingianae, The Life of Charlemagne, provides not only a detailed account of Charlemagne's reign, but also an invaluable insight into the workings of the Carolingian court. Einhard's portrayal of Charlemagne is that of a ruler larger than life, yet humanized by his virtues and vices. Through Einhard's eyes, we see a king who was as much a scholar and a patron of the arts as he was a warrior and a statesman. Another key figure in Charlemagne's court was Alcuin of York, a scholar from Anglo-Saxon England. Alcuin's influence on the intellectual climate of the Carolingian Empire was profound. He was the head of the palace school at Aachen, where he educated Charlemagne's children and many members of the nobility. Under Alcuin's guidance, the palace school became a center of learning and scholarship, attracting the brightest minds from across the continent. Alcuin's legacy was the Carolingian Renaissance, a revival of learning and culture that would have lasting effects on European civilization. The court of Charlemagne was also a hub of administrative innovation. Figures such as Count Palatine Hildebrand and Archbishop Hinsmar of Reims played crucial roles in managing the affairs of the empire. They were the king's advisers, diplomats, and executors of his will, overseeing the implementation of policies and the administration of justice. Their work was the glue that held the empire together, ensuring that Charlemagne's vision was translated into actionable governance. The influence of these architects of Charlemagne's court extended beyond the confines of the palace. They were instrumental in the spread of the Carolingian minuscule, a clear and legible script that revolutionized the way manuscripts were copied and books were produced. This script facilitated the spread of knowledge and literacy, making texts more accessible and preserving the intellectual heritage of Europe. The cultural impact of Charlemagne's advisers was equally significant. They were patrons of the arts, overseeing the construction of magnificent buildings like the Palatine Chapel in Aachen, a jewel of Carolingian architecture. They fostered the development of music, poetry, and art, turning the court of Charlemagne into a beacon of cultural brilliance in an age often overshadowed by war and strife. As we explore the lives and contributions of these architects of Charlemagne's court, we gain a deeper understanding of the forces that shaped the Carolingian Empire. They were more than just advisors and administrators. They were visionaries who played a pivotal role in the renaissance of European culture and intellect. Their legacy is a testament to the power of ideas and the impact of enlightened governance. We will delve deeper into the facets of Charlemagne's empire, exploring the women behind the throne, the economic systems, and the diplomatic endeavours that defined his reign. In the annals of history, where the deeds of kings and warriors are often celebrated, the stories of the women who played pivotal roles in shaping the destinies of empires are frequently overshadowed. In the case of Charlemagne, the narrative is no different. Yet the women behind the throne, his wives, daughters, and the influential females of his court, were central figures in the tapestry of his reign, exerting influence in a world dominated by men and playing crucial roles in the political and cultural life of the Carolingian Empire. Charlemagne's marital alliances were not just matters of the heart. They were strategic tools in his political arsenal. His first wife, Himiltrude, bore him a son, Pepin the Hunchback, whose later rebellion would be a source of personal anguish. The union, however, was short-lived, and Charlemagne's subsequent marriage to Desiderata, a Lombard princess, was a move to secure an alliance with the Lombards. Yet this alliance would soon dissolve, setting the stage for future conflicts. It was with his third wife Hildegard that Charlemagne found not just a consort, but a partner. Hildegard was more than a queen. She was an adviser and confidant, deeply involved in the affairs of the empire. Together they had 9 children, and through these offspring Charlemagne sought to weave a web of alliances across Europe. Hildegard's influence extended beyond the royal court. She was a patron of the arts and a benefactor of monastic institutions, playing a significant role in the cultural and religious life of the empire. The role of Charlemagne's daughters in his political strategy was equally significant. Though he refused to marry them to foreign rulers, their presence in the court was a delicate balance of diplomacy and power. They were educated and influential, often involved in the affairs of the empire. Theodrada and Rutrude, for instance, were known for their learning and piety, embodying the ideals of the Carolingian Renaissance. Beyond the immediate family, other women played crucial roles in the fabric of Charlemagne's court. The daughters, sisters, and wives of his counts and nobles were part of a network of influence and patronage. They managed estates, sponsored artistic and religious endeavours, and participated in the intellectual life of the court. These women, often unnamed and unrecognized in historical accounts, were integral to the functioning of the Carolingian Empire. The influence of these women extended to the realm of diplomacy. Charlemagne's court was a hub of political intrigue and negotiation, and the women of the court were often at the centre of these activities. They were emissaries in their own right, managing relationships with foreign dignitaries, and playing a part in the complex dance of medieval diplomacy. The cultural impact of the women in Charlemagne's life was profound. They were patrons of the arts, commissioning works that would adorn the palaces and chapels of the empire. They were instrumental in the spread of the Carolingian Renaissance, fostering a culture that valued learning, beauty, and piety. Their influence can be seen in the manuscripts, the architecture, and the art that flourished during this period. As we look into the stories of the women behind the throne, we uncover a narrative that is often overlooked. These women were not mere footnotes in the story of Charlemagne. They were co-authors of his legacy, shaping the empire in ways that were subtle yet profound. Their contributions were a testament to the power of influence, often wielded quietly but with lasting impact. In the grand narrative of Charlemagne's reign, the focus often gravitates towards his military conquests and political machinations. Yet, beneath the surface of these well-told tales lies the pulsating heart of his empire, the Carolingian economy. This economic system, a complex and far-reaching web, was the lifeblood that sustained and enriched Charlemagne's vast realm, a testament to his vision of a prosperous and unified Europe. The Carolingian economy was a marvel of its time, a fusion of traditional agrarian practices and innovative policies that spurred growth and stability. At the core of this system were the manors, sprawling estates that dotted the landscape of the empire. These manors were not just agricultural hubs. They were self-sufficient communities, complete with fields, mills, bakeries, and workshops. The peasants, though bound to the land, were the backbone of this agrarian economy, toiling the fields and tending to livestock, their labour a vital cog in the wheel of the empire's sustenance. Charlemagne's economic policies were a blend of pragmatism and ambition. He implemented reforms to standardize weights and measures, a move that facilitated trade and commerce. The introduction of the Carolingian pound, a silver currency, was a stroke of economic genius. It provided a stable and uniform medium of exchange, replacing the diverse and often chaotic currency systems of the conquered territories. This monetary reform not only boosted trade within the empire, but also enhanced Charlemagne's control over the economy. Trade under Charlemagne flourished, both within the empire and with foreign lands. The rivers and roads of the Carolingian realm buzzed with activity as merchants and traders traversed the continent, carrying goods from the far reaches of the known world. Luxuries like silk from Byzantium, spices from the east, and furs from the north flowed into the empire, while exports of wool, wine, and iron fed the demands of foreign markets. Charlemagne's diplomatic relations, especially with the Abbasid Caliphate and the Byzantine Empire, opened new trade routes and opportunities, weaving the Carolingian economy into the global tapestry of commerce. The revival of trade and commerce under Charlemagne had a ripple effect on the urban landscape. Towns and market centres began to grow and prosper, becoming hubs of economic and social activity. These towns, often located at crossroads or near rivers, attracted artisans, merchants, and craftsmen, creating a vibrant and diverse urban culture. The growth of these urban centres was a sign of the changing times, a shift from a purely agrarian society to one that embraced trade and industry. Charlemagne's economic policies also extended to the realm of agriculture. He encouraged the use of new farming techniques and tools, such as the heavy plough and the horse collar, innovations that increased productivity and efficiency. He promoted the cultivation of new crops, such as beans and peas, which enriched the diet of his subjects and improved soil fertility. These agricultural reforms not only boosted food production, but also supported the growing population of the empire. The Carolingian economy was not without its challenges. The vastness of the empire, with its diverse regions and peoples, posed logistical and administrative difficulties. The reliance on a manorial system also meant that much of the economy was localized and decentralized. Yet, under Charlemagne's rule, the economy of the empire experienced a period of growth and stability that was remarkable for its time. As we explore the intricacies of the Carolingian economy, we gain a deeper appreciation of Charlemagne's role as a ruler who was not just a conqueror but also a savvy economist. His policies and reforms laid the foundations for the economic systems that would shape medieval Europe and beyond. In the next segments, we will delve into Charlemagne's diplomatic endeavours and military innovations, further unravelling the story of a king whose impact on Europe was as profound as it was enduring. In the grand chessboard of medieval geopolitics, Charlemagne was not merely a king and emperor. He was also a masterful diplomat whose acumen in the art of diplomacy was as formidable as his prowess in battle. His reign, marked by the expansion of the Carolingian Empire to its zenith, was equally defined by his diplomatic endeavours, which were as intricate and impactful as his military campaigns. Charlemagne's diplomatic strategies were a blend of subtlety, pragmatism, and foresight, shaping the political landscape of medieval Europe and beyond. Charlemagne's diplomatic relations extended in all directions, reaching out to distant lands and diverse peoples. To the east, he engaged with the Byzantine Empire, a relationship that was complex and multifaceted. The Byzantines, heirs to the Roman legacy, viewed the rise of Charlemagne with a mix of apprehension and respect. The coronation of Charlemagne as emperor by Pope Leo III in the year 800, proclaiming him as the successor to the Roman emperors, was a diplomatic maneuver that challenged the Byzantine claim to the Roman heritage. Yet Charlemagne managed this relationship with a combination of diplomacy and strength, balancing competition with cooperation. To the south, Charlemagne's empire bordered the Islamic world, a civilization that was experiencing its own golden age. His interactions with the Abbasid Caliphate, particularly with Caliph Harun al-Rashid, were marked by mutual respect and curiosity. The exchange of embassies and gifts, including the famous Elephant Abul Abbas, was a testament to the diplomatic ties that transcended religious and cultural boundaries. These interactions were not just symbolic gestures. They were part of a broader strategy of mutual recognition and peaceful coexistence. Charlemagne's diplomatic endeavours also included forging alliances through marriage. He used marital ties as a tool of statecraft, seeking to strengthen his position and expand his influence. His children were married into the leading families of Europe, creating a network of alliances that extended the reach of the Carolingian Empire. These marriages were not just personal unions. They were political instruments designed to secure peace, loyalty, and cooperation among the various European powers. The diplomatic reach of Charlemagne also extended to the British Isles, where he established relations with the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. These ties were strengthened through cultural and intellectual exchanges, as scholars and monks travelled between the Carolingian Empire and the British Isles, sharing knowledge and ideas. This intellectual diplomacy was part of Charlemagne's broader vision of a Christian and civilized Europe, united not just by politics and power, but also by learning and faith. Within his empire, Charlemagne's diplomatic skills were evident in his management of the diverse peoples and regions under his rule. He understood the importance of integrating these various groups into the empire, not just through force, but also through negotiation and accommodation. He granted autonomy to certain regions, respected local customs and laws, and appointed native rulers as his representatives. This approach helped to maintain stability and loyalty within the empire, a delicate balance of central authority and regional diversity. Charlemagne's diplomatic legacy is a testament to his understanding of the complex web of medieval politics. He was a ruler who recognized the power of alliances, the importance of cultural and intellectual exchanges, and the need for a balance between strength and diplomacy. His ability to navigate the intricate world of medieval diplomacy was a key factor in the expansion and consolidation of the Carolingian Empire. Charlemagne's military innovations and cultural and religious impacts, further unravelling the story of a king whose legacy was shaped not just by the sword, but also by the pen and the olive branch. Charlemagne is often celebrated as a conqueror, a king who expanded his empire through sheer force and military might. However, beneath the surface of these conquests lay a foundation of military innovation and strategic evolution that was as critical to his success as the sword and the spear. The Carolingian military innovations under Charlemagne were not just about brute force. They were about redefining the art of warfare in medieval Europe. Charlemagne inherited a military system from his forebears, but he transformed it into an instrument of empire building. The core of this transformation was the restructuring of the Frankish armies. He reorganized his forces into a more efficient and effective fighting machine, capable of rapid mobilization and sustained campaigns. The traditional Frankish levy, or the host, was a gathering of all free men capable of bearing arms. Charlemagne refined this system, making military service more structured and introducing a sense of discipline and organization that was previously lacking. One of the key innovations of Charlemagne's military was the emphasis on cavalry. While cavalry had always been a part of Frankish warfare, Charlemagne recognized its potential as the decisive arm of his military. He equipped his cavalry with better armor and weapons, and most importantly, he introduced the stirrup to his forces, a technology that migrated from Asia. The stirrup provided greater stability to the rider, allowing for more effective use of weapons while mounted. This transformed cavalry from a mobile scouting force into a powerful striking force, capable of breaking enemy lines and pursuing fleeing foes. Charlemagne also paid great attention to the logistics of warfare. He established a network of depots and armories throughout his empire, ensuring that his armies could be supplied over long distances. This logistical network was critical in sustaining Charlemagne's campaigns across the vast expanse of his empire, from the marshes of Saxony to the mountains of the Pyrenees. He also invested in the construction of fortifications, including castles and fortified bridges, which served both as defensive structures and as bases for further expansion. The Carolingian military was also marked by its adaptability and innovation in tactics. Charlemagne was not averse to learning from his enemies and was quick to adopt effective strategies and weapons. His campaigns against the Lombards and the Avars demonstrated his ability to adapt to different terrains and combat styles. He employed siege engines and naval vessels when necessary, showing a willingness to embrace new technologies and methods of warfare. Moreover, Charlemagne's military successes were underpinned by his ability to integrate the diverse peoples of his empire into his armed forces. He incorporated soldiers from conquered territories into his army, utilizing their unique skills and knowledge. This not only bolstered the numbers of his forces, but also helped in the assimilation of these regions into the Carolingian Empire. The impact of Charlemagne's military innovations extended far beyond his reign. The cavalry tactics and organizational reforms he introduced would influence European warfare for centuries to come. The concept of a professional, well-equipped and disciplined army that he fostered was a precursor to the military systems of the later medieval period. His legacy in the realm of warfare is a testament to his vision and his understanding of the art of war. In the vast mosaic of Charlemagne's legacy, the cultural and religious impacts of his reign shine with particular brilliance, casting a light that reaches far into the corridors of history. Charlemagne, often hailed as the father of Europe, was not merely a warrior king who expanded territories, but a visionary who deeply understood the power of culture and faith in shaping the identity and destiny of a people. The cultural renaissance that unfolded during Charlemagne's reign, known as the Carolingian Renaissance, was a period of remarkable intellectual and artistic revival. This era marked a reawakening of learning and the arts, fueled by Charlemagne's passionate commitment to the revival of classical knowledge and Christian scholarship. He gathered around him the brightest minds of his time, creating an intellectual hub at his court in Axum. Figures like Alcuin of York, Paul the Deacon, and Peter of Pisa were central to this cultural revival, overseeing a renaissance that would lay the foundations for the future of European intellectual history. Under Charlemagne's patronage, schools were established throughout the empire, not only for the nobility and clergy, but also for ordinary boys, signalling a democratization of education. The palace school at Aachen became a beacon of learning, attracting scholars from across Europe. The curriculum encompassed a wide range of subjects, from theology and philosophy to mathematics and astronomy, reflecting Charlemagne's broad intellectual interests. The Carolingian Renaissance also witnessed a flourishing of the arts. Manuscript illumination, architecture and sculpture saw significant advancements, blending classical and Christian styles. The Palatine Chapel in Aachen, with its octagonal basilica crowned by a dome, stands as a testament to the architectural innovation of this period. Manuscripts produced in the scriptoria of Carolingian monasteries were works of art, adorned with intricate illuminations that were as spiritually profound as they were artistically exquisite. Charlemagne's impact on religion was equally transformative. A devout Christian, he sought to strengthen the Church and spread Christianity throughout his empire. His alliance with the papacy was a cornerstone of his reign. The coronation by Pope Leo not only legitimized his rule, but also symbolized the fusion of the spiritual and temporal realms. Charlemagne saw himself as a guardian of the Church, a role that involved both the protection and the reform of the institution. His religious reforms were comprehensive. He implemented the standardization of liturgical practices and the correction of texts to ensure uniformity in worship across the empire. He championed the cause of education among the clergy, believing that a knowledgeable clergy was essential for the moral and spiritual health of his subjects. His efforts to Christianize the pagan peoples of his empire, though often harsh, were driven by a conviction in the civilizing power of Christianity. Charlemagne's reign also marked a significant moment in the relationship between the Christian West and the Islamic world. His diplomatic engagements with the Abbasid Caliphate, characterized by mutual respect and exchange, were a departure from the prevailing attitudes of confrontation and conflict. This interaction, though limited, laid the groundwork for a complex relationship that would evolve over the centuries. The cultural and religious legacy of Charlemagne had a lasting impact on the course of European history. The Carolingian Renaissance paved the way for the intellectual awakening of the High Middle Ages. The reforms he initiated in the Church set a precedent for the spiritual and administrative organization of Western Christianity. His vision of a Christian empire helped shape the religious identity of Europe. As we draw the curtain on our exploration of Charlemagne, the ripple effects of a king, we step back to absorb the panoramic view of a legacy that stretches far beyond the mere boundaries of an empire. Charlemagne, a figure who looms large in the annals of history, was more than a king or an emperor. He was a force that reshaped the contours of medieval Europe, leaving a legacy that reverberates through the corridors of time. Charlemagne's reign was a confluence of military might, political acumen, cultural revival, and religious reform. His empire, vast and diverse, was a tapestry of different peoples and cultures woven together by his vision of a unified Christian Europe. This vision, ambitious and far-reaching, was not without its challenges and contradictions. Yet, in the grand scheme of history, Charlemagne's achievements stand as a testament to his ability to transcend the limitations of his time and lay the foundations for a future he could scarcely imagine. Perhaps the most enduring aspect of Charlemagne's legacy is the cultural and intellectual revival that took place under his reign. A period of flourishing arts and renewed learning laid the groundwork for the intellectual awakening of Europe. The preservation and propagation of classical knowledge, coupled with the promotion of Christian scholarship, created a legacy that would influence European culture for generations. The scriptoria of the Carolingian monasteries, with their illuminated manuscripts, were not just centers of learning, but beacons of cultural heritage. As we conclude this journey through the life and times of Charlemagne, we are left with the portrait of a ruler who was as complex as the era he lived in. His legacy, a mosaic of conquest, culture, faith, and innovation, continues to be a subject of fascination and study. Charlemagne, the king who became an emperor, the warrior who was a patron of the arts, the conqueror who was a unifier, remains a figure whose life story is a mirror reflecting the triumphs and challenges of his time. In the end, the story of Charlemagne is not just a chapter in the history of the Middle Ages. It is a narrative that continues to inform our understanding of leadership, empire, building, cultural identity, and the intricate tapestry of human history. As we bid farewell to Charlemagne, we carry with us the echoes of a past that continues to resonate in the present, a reminder of the enduring impact of great lives on the course of history. Thank you for joining us on this enchanting journey through the pages of history. As we bid farewell to another captivating bonus episode, remember that your support makes it all possible. We'll be back soon with more tales and mysteries, so stay tuned. Until then, keep your curiosity alive, and may your love for history continue to thrive. Farewell, dear listeners, and remember, the past never truly fades away, as long as we're here to explore it together.